Baseball's heating up. And, I'm a Yankees fan, so I'm watching a lot of Yankees. That's what I'm doing. And a big name in the sport is in the news today. He's the newest Yankee. And it's crazy how records are always broken. He's the fastest Yankee ever to hit 7 home runs. Right? So he's been on a tear. I'm talking Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm.
And he's not known as a home run guy, right?
No, but he went 2020. Now he's a 2020 guy. He's hit 7 home runs with the Yankees already. So he's in the news, and get this. I thought in today's world of sensitivity, like voting for superlatives like they did in the yearbook, like so-and-so's the funniest, so-and-so's the class clown, so-and-so has the best hair, the class clown. I thought that was like an outdated thing. But
no, by the way, Chisholm, 20 home runs this year, his highest of his career. Because I was going to say, he's a guy that hits, like, historically, if you just keep and score at home, as a Miami Marlin, 18, 14, 19. I was going to say, he seems like a guy that has a couple but he's got some bombs in him. But
he's got some pop. And, we're talking about that different level of play. I think playing for New York really pushed his game up next level. He got some adrenaline flowing as a result. I'm not saying that he didn't care in Miami. I'm just saying I think he's just stepping up in a different way.
Stealing bases. When you're playing for a team that's a playoff team versus a 40-win team,
So I guess they did a vote because this is according to MLB on Fox. There was a vote of who is the most overrated player in the MLB according to other MLB players. So you often hear of players recently saying that Tyreek Hill was the number 1 player in the NFL. In Mahomes, they voted 4th. Right? So this is either the ultimate compliment or the ultimate diss when it's your colleagues talking about you.
I heard people saying about the NFL list that there were people that just out of pure competitiveness and resentment, they're like, I'm not putting Mahomes first. Like,
I bet.
It's sometimes it's like an odd popularity
I think it's resentment,
contest.
It's envy, it's all these things that apply here. Now, Jazz Chisholm, if you don't know, he's a colorful player, right? He's just one of those flashy dudes, and either like or hate that about him. But they did this vote in the MLB, again, amongst the players, who's the most overrated player? Overrated player in baseball, not just overrated third baseman or overrated outfielder, most overrated player in baseball. And the players voted Jazz Chisholm.
Oh, Jazz.
I just think that's wild. And he commented, so apparently the story is that he slapped back and everything, or clapped back. And I don't really see it as that, but he did respond. He says, if he really voted that I'm overrated, that means you got something in your psyche, brother. I don't look at people that hard. I only look at people who are good. I'm sorry. So you call me overrated, that just means I got to be good. So my question to you based on this is, if people are saying that he's the guy that's overrated, does that mean, as the kiddies say, he's in their walls? Is Jazz Chisholm in their walls? Meaning, is he just in their head? Does that mean he is good? If they're saying he's overrated, does that mean he's doing something right? Does that apply, like the social media concept of if you're getting hated on, that means you're somebody? Does that same thing apply here when it's your colleagues? If someone did a radio poll and they're like, yeah, the most overrated radio show in the nation is COVINO Rich, does that really mean that people are hating on us because we're doing something right?
Listen, I don't want to be wishy-washy, but I'm torn on it because there's part of me that's like, sometimes it could just be the truth.
Yeah, but people say that about Jeter all the time, and I'm like, you guys are hating. Jeter's the most, Canseco's in the news. Jose Canseco, I guess it needs some attention, so he goes after his former teammate. Remember, he played with the Yankees for a minute, Canseco. Yeah. He just this is recent news, and he said that Derek Jeter, he tweeted it out. Iowa Sam, Danny, see if you can find it. He said something along the lines of Derek Jeter is the most overrated shortstop of all time, or most overrated player I ever played with, something like that. And people love to say that to get attention. You mean to tell me the guy with over 3,000 hits, all these rings, did it in New York on the biggest stage, played a full career's worth of postseason games. Yeah, he's the most overrated. I got it. Has highlights for days. He's the most overrated, or are you just envious of this guy? Give me a break. So is that what's going on with Jazz Chisholm, or anytime you hear things like that?
Well, there was the NBA list that came out, and let me ask Danny G. He pays attention to the NBA by far more than anyone else on the show.
I do.
When they came out with Rudy Gobert, most overrated NBA player.
Yeah, the guy who started COVID.
Yeah, I blame him for COVID. I think everybody does.
Did you find that to be an accurate? Well, yeah, maybe he is the most overrated guy. Do you put any stock in these surveys? That was by the players, also. By the way, the players voted Rudy Gobert most overrated.
Here, before you answer, think about it from this perspective. Let's just say they did most overrated producers.
Yeah.
And they voted you. That means you're on everybody's radar, dude. There's something to be said about that.
That's like the breakdancer. Like, people are talking about you for the wrong reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, that's the other side. I agree, because sometimes it's just truth. Like if you said,
Or, I'm sorry, she's a floor roller.
Floor roller.
Because if you were to say most overrated podcast or radio show,
yeah,
there's a good chance.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading Jose Canseco's Twitter feed. Dude, Derek Jeter is the most overrated shortstop in MLB history.
He woke up on August 7th at 7 a.m. on the dot and tweeted that.
He must have had a bad dream about Derek Jeter like sleeping with his wife or something.
Yeah, scheduled tweet 5 days ago, and 2 million people saw it. So it's like, it works. It works. People want that attention. I don't know. Jazz Chisholm, from what I'm seeing, the dude is pretty good. He's exciting. He's electric. To me, it just says he's on everybody's radar.
Can I say this about Gobert? I
Sure.
mean, you can only be deemed or labeled overrated if you've won NBA's Defensive Player of the Year 3 or 4 times, which he has.
That means you're rated to
It
begin
means that
with,
you
right?
are rated. It means that you are bringing something to the table, and you've been given this designation as a great defensive player. But then you had that play, against Doncic, where he like yelled at him and he shot over him, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's overrated. Gobert's overrated because of that." And it's like, well, he's also done a lot of work during the regular season.
He has, but you don't know the mental and the makeup Cove on the floor. There's some players that have used the S word on him, calling him soft.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm trying to apply this to all sorts of things. Like, a lot of people say the band Kiss is overrated, right? Like Kiss. I'm like, yeah, but you got to be rated to even be in the conversation.
Why point is you need to be rated to be overrated.
Why is Kiss even over in the conversation? Because they're so damn rated, right? Wherever they go, people love them. People paint their faces like them. They got merchandise for days. They've been around forever.
If you have a head on your shoulders, you got to eventually admit that somebody is big time, even if you don't like their product. Kiss, it took me a long time for me to come around to them, but I'm now a fan, because I'm like, there's a reason why people like them, why they're so big.
That's what I'm saying. So Jazz Chisholm is the latest to this list.
Oh.
And again, I only know what I've seen. It also goes back to something very personal. Everybody has an opinion about somebody. And you could let their opinion sway you, or you could make your own opinion. I can't tell you how many times in my career, and Rich will back me up on this, we'll meet somebody, or someone will warn us about somebody else. Jeremy Piven is our go-to example. Jeremy Piven, he's a real a-hole. You guys don't want to interview Jeremy Piven. He's a real a-hole. We meet Jeremy Piven. He's like the nicest guy ever. And it's like, well, that might have been your opinion of him or his reputation, but hey, from what I saw, he was great.
If he wasn't a lunatic who got hit in the head, I'm not trying to be silly about it, but our experiences with Antonio Brown very similar. We've met Antonio Brown a few times, and it was when he was a Steeler, but he was always so nice to us. And I look at him now, I'm like, people would be like, really?
So all I can say is my experience with Jazz Chisholm is only handful of games, but so far, he's rated for a reason. I think he's been great for the Yankees. And that's just, again, my opinion from what I've seen. That's all you could go by in life sometimes. But I'll leave it at this, and I already said it. If people are saying you're overrated at anything, and I'm sure people say that about us, Rich, that means you had to be rated to begin with.
And that's a good way to look at it. Danny, let me ask you, being that you're a Raiders fan, I saw a list of every team's most overrated player going into the season.
Okay.
What is this?
Every team in the NFL's most overrated player.
Oh, okay.
Christian Wilkins.
What? He hasn't even played a game for the Raiders yet.
They're saying overrated that they got him.
No,
No, some say he's overrated.
Good.
People hate, man.
Rim
He
shots.
hasn't played a regular season game for the team yet.
Overrated.
I see a
Come on, you
couple.
like it.
There's a couple lists of most overrated players in the NFL.
How would you overrate that guy? He's one of the ones with the motor. No, I respected him as a Dolphin. The reason why is they were on Hard Knocks. I saw him. He's one of those guys where he never stops. Like from the blow of the whistle, he's still going.
Let me tell you, dude, to prove Covino's point possibly of to be overrated, you must be rated to begin with. I'm going to just give you quick 4 names, and then I know we got a break. We're playing Tyson Trivia. These are 4 guys that I've cross-referenced like 5 or 6 lists of most overrated players in the NFL as we get ready for football season.
Yeah.
These are 4 guys that are on every list of overrated. Tell me if you think this is BS. Stephon Diggs, Justin Herbert,
Wow.
Deebo Samuel,
Wow.
and Tua
Tagovailoa.
Thank you. Every time I say it, I mess it up. So Tua, Deebo, Stephon Diggs, and Herbert. Thoughts?
Those guys were deemed overrated.
Yeah,
Put them all on a team, and they will kick your butt.
that is true. Honestly, put them on a team, they probably will whoop
They
your
will
ass.
score points.
Deebo, maybe because he gets banged up, but I don't think there's anything overrated about Deebo. Stephon Diggs is a game changer. We'll see what Josh Allen looks like without him. Justin Herbert, this will be him and Tua. This will be the year. Tua got paid, and Herbert's got a coach. So I think we'll see the story about those two more so ever this year.
I don't know. Whenever you see some hype, like I'm just going to plant this seed, okay, moving forward. There's broadcasters that I hear a lot of hype about and shows that I hear a lot of hype about. That's the industry we work in, right? And I'll watch them like, I don't get the hype. You just have to ask yourself why. Am I just hating on them?
Maybe.
Am I just mad it's just not me deep down? I don't know.